We are live. Hello, hello. What's up, people? How you doing? What are the plans for Saturday? So, welcome back to another live stream. Let me just. Okay, okay. Let me share this uh, stream invite. Mhm, mhm. All right, we have. I'm trying a different thing now. I will post the screenshot along with my post. If I get that image, yes, I have. I'll do next. Let me copy this thing. Mm. So we'll start in a minute, guys. Just doing this stuff. All right. Okay, okay. All right, let's start this thing now. If you guys join in between, I would suggest you to always, keep your laptop with you and take a clone of the repo. I'm pinning it on chat as well. So you can have the code from the repo and then you can, continue with me. All right. So I'll be starting now. Uh, this is sufficient. All right. Okay. So yeah. So we are going to implement, on login and registering a user, we are going to implement JWT tokens. So, and once we'll see how do we create JWT tokens for you know, uh, for the user verification process, and we'll create it on two steps. We will also create the JWT token on registration, so that if a user registers, so that user need not to go to login page again. He will access the protected routes from there only. All right. So on the registration and on the login, we'll both on the both routes will create JWT tokens. So the proper way of creating a JWT token and saving it on the client side will be on the HTTP only cookie header. So we'll do that. But for now, till the time we don't have any front end, we'll use Postman to query our server. And what we'll do is once I create a JWT token, I will return it in response, and I will copy that JWT token somewhere. And whenever I make a request, I'll manually paste it on the request header, or maybe we'll figure out some way how to maybe save it on the Postman so that it gets attached with the header each time when I make request to my server. So we'll see that, and we'll require two things. Uh, how do we do this? Uh, so we'll create a registration service. We'll create a login service. Okay. This is a registration, register user. Okay. And this will be our login. And they both will implement JWT. We'll create a utility that will create JWT tokens, that will create password hashes, because we are not going to store the passwords on the table. We'll store the password hash. So each time the user will enter the password, we'll make sure that the hash, the stored hash, and the password that it passed, and we create a hash out of it, they both should match. So that will be the first step of validation. All right. The second step would be to the JWT token, the token that has been passed on the header. It has some details, like it has a claim and an expiration time. All right. Inside that claim we'll store our information like a subject. And one thing to note over here is on the token we should not store any kind of password. We should store only minimum details that we that will verify that user only. Okay. So like the user ID, of course, and the role is must. It's not must. We'll only store user ID and the expiration time. Okay. So we'll create a struct of claims that have a subject and an expiration time. On the subject we'll store the user ID, and that user ID will be generated once I store the user, once I register the user. So our first step would be to take the data as a payload from the request, save that data, create a hash out of the password that a user will enter, and store all those information on the DB. And once the record is created on the DB, it will return a user ID. That user ID will be stored on the JWT token, and that token will be returned to the client. And now each time when the user makes request, it will pass that token along with the request, and we will check whether the token is valid or not. So to verify the token, we have a jot.io site. You can go through it. You will paste your token over here, and it will decode it for you. All right. So it has a jot decoder and jot encoder. All right. So you, as soon as you pass your jot token in it, it will define and extract the information. The decode, it will decode the, you know, thing for you. So as you can see, a subject is this, a name, admin, it's a role, right? Either it's admin or a guest user or something like that, you know. So yeah, it's a information. So once a user logs in into auth server, it generate ID token and access token, and these ID tokens and access token are required to log in to an application. But it's a complete dependency on auth 0, yeah, auth 0 server. Okay, so basically it's auth o. So we are not going to do it. We'll maintain our token, create our token on our on our end. So yes, we'll do that. Register, login, jot. So let's see how we can create a token, how we create hash out of it. So we'll use these crates, you know. I'll say crates.io, JSON web token, and let's go here and we'll see bcrypt. You must have seen this if you worked with Node.js. Bcrypt is used to create the hash, easily hash verify and password on this. So we'll do this. It's simple. We'll create hash, we'll create verify. So these two functions we'll use default cost. So it has a cost that has a salt and everything. So it's a different thing. You can like read about it, about hashing and all. Okay. What else? Yeah, it has simply two functions. We'll use these two functions. We'll pass a password, we'll use a default cost, and it will create a hash out of it. We'll store this hash on the DB, and once a user enter its password for login, let's say, then we will verify this thing. Okay. And if you don't want to after registration, if you don't want the user to force redirect to login, what you can do, you can store the hash as well on the on the jot token. So okay, so he do not need to go through the password and all, so it can directly use that hash. Also you see, this is a decoder, so there should be a valid jot to get these informations. So let's suppose I am a fishy guy and I updated this jot token like this, you know so you see everything has been changed. So a proper jot token will make sure that you are a valid person. All right, anything mismatched over here uh, is a false retrieval of this thing, of the jot token. Now you must seeing like this, right? Green, white and blue, these are the different parts of jot token. These three things, they combine together and create a jot token. And and what are these things? Let's see these things. So I think this would be it, components of jot. So let's see what else we have. We have header. All right, so we have a header, then we have a payload, and then we have a signature. So all these three things combine together and create a jot token. So any of these things will if these things are invalid or mismatched, it will result into a false decoding or an error. All right. What is an header? Header contains a metadata about the token and a cryptographic algorithm used to secure its content. A payload, of course, it contains a verifiable security statement such as identity of the user and the permission they are allowed, like the role they are allowed, and the identity of the user. We call it subjects. All right, it's basically, this payload is called a claim, and this claim has the time stamps, we call it IES, IAT. It has a subject, it has expiration time, that how much time will the token will be valid. If the expiration time is 1 minute, 2 minute, and after that time this entire token will expire, and once it expire you need to refresh the token. All right, you need to generate a token, you need to refresh the token. But I'll suggest you to at least give the token a time of around 5 days, 10 days. It's up to you, it's completely under depends upon the requirement, but you can do that. Let's go inside claims. What is claim? I think this is it. We don't need these documents. Do we need here are some scenarios where Josen, okay, we can do this, we will read this as well. Mm-hmm. A header, a payload, a signature. A header will have the information about the algorithm type. The payload has the information like this. A subject, it's definitely some user ID, it's an expression time, it's a name, and the admin. You see, they are not storing any kind of security details over here, because once a JWT token is open, or if anyone has your JWT token, if you store all the information like the security, passwords and all, they can easily decode it because it's a valid signature. All right, and it's a signature, it's a crypto to ensure. Then okay. uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So that will be it. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You can add the details like this: authentication type, password. Is it a password based? It's like a passwordless OTP based. So uh, you can go through the detail. This is a good thing. JSON web it has all the details over here. So basically, you need to understand there are three components: header, payload, and a signature. As you can see, it's a header, decoded header. It's a decoded payload that I just messed up. I will just undo it, and we have a signature. All right, and make sure that for encoding and decoding a JWT token, you should have a random and very long key. All right, so make sure to do that. Based on this key, it will you know yeah, so that's it. It has three header. This is the header, this is the payload, and this is the signature. Okay, so these are the component of JWT token. So all right, let's go. What do we have in claims? Mm, piece of information asserted about a subject. A claim is represented as a name value pair consisting of a claim name and a claim value. All right, so what is a claim? Claim is on the payload, and the claim is basically a key value pair, and it tells about it has a claim, and it's a claim name and a claim value, and it tells about the subject. All right, so inside the claim, when we create a struct claim, we'll declare a subject. A subject has a user identity. We can define all other things inside that because it's a key value pair. So yeah, it has expiration time and all. ISS JWT claim set, it has expiration time, and it has much more things. You should definitely go through it. JWT token, should I share this with you? All right, I'll do it. Okay, so here is the document that you can check about the JWT tokens. Now let's implement this thing. Let's close this thing. That is it. We'll use bcrypt, so let's do this thing. Cargo at bcrypt. It should have changed these two things. All right, and we need one more thing, that is JSON web token. So you can create this thing. claims like this. Okay, it has a feature called encode decode. We'll use these things, and once we encode thing, we need a header, we need a signature and a payload and a claims. All right, these are the claims. These are the proper claims. All right, it's an audience, it's an expression time, it's a issued at, and it's the issuer, who is the issuer, and all these things, and the subject whom token refers to. We will pass a user ID. All right. How do we encode this thing? We'll say encode, we'll pass header, we'll pass the subject, and we'll pass the signature. So all these three things, and they will encode the token, and we'll have a token. And we can have this thing over here. We can pass this thing like this, SHA, like show 256, RSA 256. But we'll use header default. It should be using show 256. Yeah. And this is okay. Yeah. Once I decode, I'll have to, define this thing over here, that after decoding, it will fall under this claims. Okay. All right. It is easy, I think. Should be easy. So let's start with this thing. Let's start claims, and let's create a claim, and then we'll start something. Okay, so before that, let's create a register endpoint, and inside that register endpoint, we'll create and implement our JWT token, and we'll pass that token back to the client. And one more thing, we have pg admin, because we'll create a user table on which we will register our user. Okay. Okay, guys, if you are watching this, make sure to like this stream and share it with your friends. Okay, do we have GB here? Test DB. This is what we created, right? Test DB. Hmm. Okay. What is this cohort? Disconnected. Hmm. All right. Let's go and create this thing. So from the postman, we'll create something like this. That will be a post request localhost. Let me open the terminal. Okay. What is happening, guys? What is happening? Happening. 6002. Let's copy this thing. Uh, yeah. Why my system is so lagging? Will be API v1 slash we'll create a separate controller for it, of course, a separate scope user, and then we'll create a register to it. All right, it will be a post request, so I'll use this thing over here. I'll say user name. All right, password that enter. We'll say test at 123. I'll say pass. Let's say secret. What else do we need? Uh, User login. Maybe we can pass it. Darklord at Yopmail. Why I'm using Yopmail? Because I can send, if I try to make it an passwordless login, or maybe use an OTP for that as well. So user login, I'm using Yopmail so that I can send, some temporary emails to there. What else do we need? Guys, what else do we need on the registration? We have a username, we have a secret, we have a login, user login identifier. Let's call it address. Okay, beautify it. All right, so these things will pass. It will be a post request. All right, so this will be the format. And once we create a JWT token, we'll pass it on the header. We'll create a header like over here. We'll say authorization, I think. And on the value over here, we'll use kind of bearer. And here will be our some token. So it will be something like that, I hope. All right. So, and on the API, we will decode this thing. We'll extract the authorization header from here, and we'll do this thing. Let's delete this. Okay, so it will be something like this. Now let's go over here, and we'll go here. So we have check user, save user, check status. Can we create another scope over here? What we learned about scope is it collects it for accumulate a different kind of a different set of routes altogether, those who have common prefix or belong to a same category. Now that we are going to create a user, what we'll do, we'll create a user scope, and inside that we'll place all our user related queries, user related routes like register user, login user, a profile watcher, a watch profile, and something like that. And then we can create a different scope that is called order, and inside that we'll use all our order related endpoints. Now inside this scope I need a scope. So can I do something like scope? No, I'll have to, I think I'll have to, maybe I could find something over here. Scope. Yes, I have a scope. I'll say, but I need to, you know, maybe there will be a service. Can I get a scope? Yes, I am getting a scope inside it. So I'll make sure I'll have slash user. All right, and inside this thing over here, I can now use service. All right, I need a resource, and I'll do register, and I'll have a route. and it will be a post request. All right, the handler will be uh, register user that I need to create. All good, all good. All right. Now I need to make sure one thing. Inside the save user, check user, I'll move those things to user. Then I'll copy the controller values as well. But what is this thing doing? Check user. Let's see. Because these are some random things that we made, right? Check user. Okay, so we were only checking if the user is there, so that is fine. We don't need to. Maybe we could just say check user status and save user, right? Save user. What is this thing doing? Save user. All right. It is also post. We were also testing like how we can access the user info from the request and how we access the payload. Dark Earth one question: how hard is to build social media app? Lots of news are saying we need a indigenous app. Social media app. Do we have some problem over here? I mean, these things come into picture when we have an existing problem. One problem is that we need an indigenous app, but for that we need to create a highly scalable app that can replace those things. And with the current scenario of the foreign investments and everything, it is hard to create an indigenous app that will, that can replace all these things that are already available. So for to get for to create an indigenous app to make it success, there should be a fall on the foreign investment and other foreign apps as well. So without them, it's strictly very hard to do so, unless you are solving a problem that's no never been either identified or never been solved. So yes, it is hard. It's not hard to build, but it is hard to survive that app. So a lot of news. Can you please share any links, any sources where uh, who is saying that we need an indigenous app? All right. So okay, now let's so I think save user, it's typically it's not saving an user. We were just testing out how we can check for payload and how we can do this. So maybe save user test, we could call it. Save user test, and we can just do it this thing. Save user, oh my, save user test. Save user test. Save user test. Recently, PM on Redford speech said that. Okay. Uh-huh. So if he said so, it could be possible that there can be thing. Let me just check. I mean, it's not difficult to create an indigenous social media app. Again, it's Hmm. So, but again, it's depend on like how people take it. We have always been after, I think after few from the few past few years, we are focusing on indigenous builds. But it all depends on people how they take it. People tend not to believe on indigenous, I think so, because as soon as there is an indigenous app, people try to roast it instead of supporting it. So it's not hard to build because we already have some very good engineers that can create a scalable app. A good example is of all the government portals. They are very not very decent in UI, but they do their job, right? They are highly scalable. So we can do that, but again, the acceptance is very low because yeah, but it's a good idea to have an indigenous app. I totally support it. I have been always in support of an indigenous OS because most of our systems are, they depend on the OS that are not indigenously made. But I'm in a full support of always been on a OS that is made on India, and government should perform their all the operations on those OS instead of Microsoft and all. Okay, so we have created this scope. We will use all our user related thing under this scope users. Should I users? Okay, so if I go here, I'll say users register and users login and users profile, something like that. Let's go and build this method. Controller. Oh, see what the hell. Oh, we already have a user controller. Hmm. Maybe we could create a status.rs almost status. Hmm, maybe I could, you know, instead of user, I'll say status. And now on the user, uh, I can just create async function that say register user. All right. Do we need a request? No, but we need pool and we need a payload, right? So we need a payload and we need pool as pool as well, and that will be data and will be pg pool. All right, and the payload will be same. Will be JSON, and inside there we'll have register user struct. So uh, okay. What else we have? Types. Let's create this thing over here. Derive again. debug serialize. Alright guys, it would be good if you guys can, like this stream. And Darkers, thank you for raising this point. It was really awesome that you came and talk about it. So user, we have username, and we have it. We have user login, and we have, all right, let's do this thing, register user. It will return something that implements responder. Okay, we have. Alright guys, who else is watching? Please say hi on the chat and be on this stream. It is going to be some good stream. Maybe if you want to get the context, you can just drag the progress bar to the very first, and maybe you can put it on 1.5x. It would be quick for you to get the idea what we are doing here. Okay, to satisfy this thing, register user, we will have this thing, right? So we'll say let payload equals payload dot into inner. All right, we'll have a payload. Hey, what is this thing? Okay, HTTP response. Say status 200. I'm doing just to satisfy this thing. Yeah. Okay, and result says of course none. Let's see if this thing. All right, we didn't use pool, but we will are going to use pool. We'll create a repository function that will insert the detail. So we have a payload here, and what we can do here is we can say let response is let's create a repository functions. We have health checks, right? Let's create a user repo.rs, and we'll say pub mode user repo. Okay, amazing guys. Please like this stream if you want to. That would be good. Just give me a minute. I'm just feeling hungry. Let me grab something to eat. Okay. Mm-hmm. So on the user repo, what was the function name? I'll call it user registration. User registration. It will, of course, get a payload that will be of type of user register user and a pool that will be type of data pg pool. All right, we can return a MySQL result from here, but for now, let's say I will return I32. All right, here I will, insert the user based on the payload. I'll use sqlx query to insert query that we can, we need to create a table first. But let's say it returns 1. All right, let me. Okay, no. That is fine. That is fine. Let's go on the user controller. I'll say match. Do we need to use match? Yes, of course. Let me just check. Uh, on the health check, I'm just returning a result. Okay, yeah, result should be there. That is why I will have to, instead of I32, because if it's in I32, I will not be using result. I'll not be using match. All right, so I'll use I32 over here, and I'll say box then, and it's std error. It should be std error. Right, this should be it. Uh-huh. No, it should not be an IO error. Should be an error. All right, and then I'll say okay to 1. All right, now let's go over here. I'll use a match statement. I'll say user repo dot user registration. I'll pass payload and I'll pass pool. Oh, zoom. All right. Is it good? Is it good? Mm-hmm. Internal server error. MSG would be format error occurred, and the results be none. Uh, okay, it says consider awaiting on the future. Of course, sir. Of course. I forget. I forget. Thank you, Mr. Compiler. All right, we have a res, and this res, yeah. Okay, now on the user repo, user registration, we have registered the user that we just passed from the payload. Now I on the okay, now on the res, I can say instead of res, I should say it user. All right, this is the user response that I get back from the database, and I'll have a user ID in it. Now here I need to generate a JWT token which will contains all those claims information, and then I will pass this JWT token information on the response. All right, and on the client side I'll save it somewhere. The most secure and the recommended way is to use HTTP only cookie to save all those things, apart from local storage or session storage. So for now I will just pass it on this thing. So how do we do that? Should we create a utility? Inside utility I can say jot impl.rs. All right, I'll say node jot impl. Now here, though we have already installed bcrypt and JSON web token, right? Uh, did we? We have bcrypt, but we don't have JSON web token. All right, let's do this thing. Are you able to see this? I think I have to zoom this thing. That would be good. Uh-huh. I have to do cargo add JSON web token. Is it the same thing that I'm doing? JSON web token. JSON web token. Guys, don't forget to like this stream. If you want, I can push this thing on GitHub so that you can have your copy and you can just code along with me. What would you suggest? The repo link is pinned on the chat. Could not compile. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. You cannot compile because I didn't have this registered user mapped already on the routes. Let's do this thing. Cargo toml file. Do we have JSON web token? That is good. That is good. On the JWT type, I need to create a type first. I have to say, let's go over here on the documentation. It says I need to create a claims, right? So I'll say claim or claims. Here I'll use only two things for now. I'll use a subject that will be an I32 and an expiration time that will be I64. Right. Expiration time is on usize, it says. Validate expert default to true is UTC timestamp. Okay. And what is the subject? Is a string. Maybe we could have it in a string only, but let's see. We'll see. It's not going anywhere else. We'll see. All right, let's go on JWT. I'll create a pub function generate jot token. So generate jot token will have a user ID that we are going to pass it. All right, and it will return a token for us. We'll see what is the type of that token, or maybe we can get on the documentation. Encode. We'll use this thing encode. What does encode returns? Encode. All right, we should have a decoding and encoding key as well. All right. So we need to do that as well. Let first, do something with it. I'll say let claims is equal to claims, and on the sub I'll pass user ID. I'm just creating a token first, and then we will validate it on the jot.io, and we'll see if we are getting this. Field is private. Okay. User ID, and we have an expiration time. How do we create an expiration time? How do we create an expiration time? Maybe how it's creating it? It should be UTC now plus we should add some days to it, like 5 days, 2 days, at least for 1 day. After that we'll need a refresh token, and we need to generate a new token if everything is validated. So create an expiration time and rest for jot. I think it's something like this. It will be something like this. UTC 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 sqlx types chrono. It would be something like UTC now plus add something like that. We'll see. UTC Okay, so UTC now plus duration dot hours and something like that, and we'll get the timestamp out of it. All right, then we'll say let we'll say let now equal to UTC. I need chrono, sqlx type chrono. Maybe I could go use. Didn't I have chrono? Oh, I didn't have a chrono here. So chrono create is used to manage date time just like a movement.js in Node.js. So let's do that as well. I'll say cargo add chrono. Uh, I have a chrono now. So I'll say chrono UTC. And what else do we need? Duration as well. So here I'll have now, and I'll say let exp. I'll use a shorthand. Let exp is equal to now plus duration dot days. I'll add 2 days dot timestamp. It will return an I64, and I'll just use a XP over here. Come on. All right. Okay, so claims I have used I64 because I know that I'll use chrono, and at the timestamp it will return I64, so that is why I put an I64 here. Though we can use usize on sub, but we should use string. Why? Because we are not, in an ideal case we will have a UUID over there, not like a number 1 2 3 4. But for now we'll see. Should we generate UUID? For now just keep it usize, maybe on the found I32. You know what, I need to update that on that thing as well, but we can always enhance it later. I have claims. All right, so now I'll say let token equals encode. I have encode. It needs a header. All right, so I'll say header Josh, sorry, header, and I'll use default. Header default because it will use itself the a default header for token. So if you remember, a JSON token comprises of three things: a header, a payload, and the integrity security. Now here I will use key. Now this key I need to fetch it. All right, so I'll say let encoding key is equal to uh, dot env dot okay. I'll use env dot where I'll say encoding key dot expect key not found. All right, now here I can use encoding key. I forget to put a semicolon. Okay, incorrect. Expected a reference of what? I think this. Let's see the definition again. A header will have a reference. All of these things will have a reference. So I'll say this thing. I'll say this thing, and it should be easy now. Mismatched. Expected reference found. First of all, fix this thing. Okay. Let's see what is the issue. Found string. Needed encoding key. Encoding key. Do we have new? No. What else do we have here? Encoding key from RSA. No, no, no. From secret. Okay. Uh, from secret, and we can have our encoding key over here, and I need to pass this thing. Okay, expected reference, found a reference to string. Uh-huh. Okay, this is done. Now let's print this token and see what we get now, and after that we'll validate it. So we'll create a to-do so that we know that we need to remove it. Println token. What is the problem? Token. Okay, generate your token. Now let's, okay, it's returning 1 again. Let's see this thing. I'll see. You know what? I should not print this thing because I'm going to check it on the postman. Generate job token. I'll pass user rest to it. Probably I'll do this thing, and maybe I could create claims. It also need this thing. Alright, so maybe I could do this thing. So let's remove this thing. I'll just I generated a token, right? And I'll pass it on the response. So I'll remove this thing. I'll say user registered and token generated, and I'll do some token to it. All right, so generate.token. Let's remove this thing. All right, so we have created job token. We have passed it on API response. We'll fetch it on postman, and then we'll validate on job.io whether it's working or not. So I'll say maybe copy this thing, paste it over here. Instead of this thing, I'll simply say register user, and on the status I'll say user. Are we good? Yes sir. Let's go on the types. What the issue we are facing? Deserialize. Amazing. So I think we need to perform some checks, or maybe I could just, then I'll have some issue over here. So I have to revert this thing. I should be consuming this whole, so it will be owned. All right. Let's see how we are getting this thing. Okay, no problem. Let's go here. So we are passing this thing. All right. Maybe I could return kind of struct that has the username and all, but again that's a different thing. We need to validate if the token is generated. So let's hit socket hang up. Okay, it says auth called key not found, not present on the JWT impularis. That is good. That is good because we didn't created our encoding key. All right, it should be long and hard. That's what she said. It should be. So it should be something like this, long and hard. All right, now I have the encoding key. It's very long. So maybe I could just diminish this thing. Maybe I could use some this thing in between. Okay, maybe this thing in between as well. So encoding key is created. Now let's make run. All right guys, any questions do you have, or are you just watching it? Great, we have one more subscriber. Thank you very much sir, whoever did that. Okay, now let's go here and see. User registered and token generated, but we didn't get any token, though all the logs are being there. Auth code, success, blah blah blah, incoming request, a post request, and I'm getting user registered and token generated, but I didn't see any token over here. And why is that? Oh, because I didn't pass any token. I need to pass it. We'll see what it returns. It returns a result of a string and an error. So I'll return a token from here, and over here I'll see a result of a string and an error. Error will be JSON web token error. Make sense? Yes, I think I'll have a result over here. So now now that we have token generated, we need to match it because it will return error sometimes. Correct? Or maybe we can use a question mark to, obviously omit that thing, but no. Token let's return token, and on the error I want to return error HTTP response internal server error JSON API response what the heck, string status is 500, message would be format error occurred, and the results would be none, sir, none. And on the token, I can now pass the token. Here I have it. All right, so let's hit again and see. I'll do it again. Where are the logs? We'll see if we can see the logs. Let's do it this way. Here I'll see the logs, right? So make sure you watch here, and when I hit send, I'm getting this token. So the JWT token is created and being returned over here to us. This thing is header, this thing is payload, a little bit of payload, and this thing are signature, the integrity of this thing. Alright, the logs are performed, auth code success, request completed successfully, incoming request. Alright, now validate this token. I will copy this, I will go on jwt.io, I will paste this thing. Ooh, I have subject of one expiration of this thing. So subject is the my user ID. It says invalid signature. Why are we missing some fields? But the claims table, I have the expiration time. Okay, so subject is one. It is properly like validated and decoded. You know, I can see my JSON with the sub of a user ID of 1 and the expiration of this, and it's an invalid signature, not properly invalid, because I think I must be missing some fields like all of these things. Like these things, right? Audience, NBF, not before ISS, issuer, and all these things. So let's do this thing. I am at IAT ISS. Let's use this thing on the claims. Just wait a minute, guys. I'm sorry. So let's go on the claims. I think our JSON valid is token is perfectly valid because it's been decoded properly. But it says invalid. Maybe I'm missing something, but I'll try to solve it. Let's go on types on the claims. Let's add some audience as well. Let's see audience. Audience is not required. Is it required? It's a string, right? Issued at, is it ISS issuer, and IAT, it's a UTC timestamp, so it will be I64. All right, now let's build the claim again. I have a sub. All right, exp. Maybe I could also use a username, user email, something like that. All right, now let's pass audience. It's a string, right? So it would be good to do this thing. ISS, it's a string, and issuer is of course Vipin, and IAT, it's a UTC timestamp, so I'll say UTC dot now dot timestamp. So the claims are set. Now again, let's perform this action. So we have a longer payload now. The payload is quite long. I'll copy this thing and let's see if are we still getting the validator validation errors. If I go and paste it over here, I can see IAT ISS is within, you see this thing, audience is within expiration time. I have a subject of a user ID 1 that I passed from the repository function, and the issuer at is also a timestamp, as you can see. 10/4 I issued this thing, but I'm still getting invalid signature. I just don't understand. It's a valid jot, but it's an invalid signature. Oh, invalid signature. So I think I need to repeat it in a kind of, I think encoding key is the signature, right? That doesn't, okay, header is HS. I use default thing from secret and I use a ref. So that is fine. No issues, no issues. It's a perfectly valid token. No issues. It's an invalid signature. So signature is this thing, right? It's an optional thing. Enter the secret used to sign in on the jot. So signature verification is failed because the signature that I used is different one, and here is the different thing. So you see why the signature verification says invalid signature, because the signature here is something like this: a string secret at least 256 bits long. Now if I copy this thing and save it in my env where I have my secret, this error will be gone. Let me just show you. If I go here and type env, and instead of this thing I'll just use encoding key as this thing, and now when I generate a token again, it won't be any issue. Then it won't be any issue. So it is running. If I do it again, I'll have a different jot. I copy this jot token, I'll paste it over here. I think I should not be getting any issue because the signature is verified now, because I used this signature. So it was a token, like a perfectly valid token. I can see all the audience, ISS, expiry, sub, IAT, right? And I have a valid signature as well, because the secret I actually copied it. So if I use my own signature, it will not, it will not be a verified signature. Okay. So I hope you understand this error now. If I undo this, and I'll undo this as well, I'll just do it again, make run, and I will again create a token. So the token is created again. Let me just copy this thing, and it should be a signature is not verified error now, invalid signature. All right, so the token is created and sent back to the client. Now every time I make a request, now I will have this thing on my header like this. क्या बना रहे हो बड़े भाई? Hello Ankit. I'm just creating a HTTP server using Actix-web in Rust. I was showing the implementation of jot. How do we implement jot token and how do you validate it, and yeah, something like that. How about you, buddy? How your day going? So now how will I use this jot now? So once a jot is written to the client, now the client either you can save it from the response only, that you can save it to. Yes, yes sir, yes it is interesting. Thank you for coming on chat. So I'm a tech noob. Okay, awesome, awesome. Oh great, nice to meet you. So if I you know if I need to you can directly save it on the client side, on the cookies from the from the backend only. When the response is returned, you can directly save it on the client side. But if you have a different options, then it will be returned to you on the client side, and the client has to save it securely somewhere. All right, and make sure that you don't secure any tokens over here, because you see I have the token. I can go on the site of jot.io, and I can validate the token and get the details like this, like the audience, experience, ISS, IAT and all. So you should not store any secret over here. Just you should store only the role, the audience, the ID, the user ID and all. So now how will we will use it again on the next request? I'll go on header and I'll create a header, say authorization, and I'll use something bearer. I'll say bearer, and I'll paste the token here. So this will be my token now, and this will be passed on header on each request. And on the server, if I go on not on route, I'll go on main, because I created a authentication middleware, right? If I go on the authentication middleware, here I will fetch the token. For every request I will fetch the header authentication token. I will get the jot, I will decode the jot, and then once I got that, I got it successfully decoded, that means it's a valid request. All right, it's coming from a valid user, because that token has a user ID. That means the user that is accessing that request is the authenticated user. All right, so we'll do that. So this is how you will use on every request. Okay, let me just copy this, keep it somewhere. It is valid up to 1 day. I keep it for 1 day. You can keep it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and once that thing expired, you can generate a new token on the backend only. That is called a refresh token. All right, so that refresh token will you can put the maximum age of, like, you can store it for the maximum ages. So refresh tokens will store for more time period. Okay, now, okay, so this is how we will use it. All right, now let me just save it somewhere. Not on notes, because I'll have it on editor. Okay, so yeah, now let's do one thing. We have created jot, we have validated jot. Now let's do one thing. Let's create a table and save that user there. Then we will update this auth middleware to fetch the header and then update this. This is for login persistence and cookie base. Yes, 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 Ankit. Correct. Yes, it stores the users, and it is used for authenticating and validating the API requests. So once a user registers, this token gets saved in the device, and if it's a re-login, then token should be present on the request, and that token validates the authenticity of the user. It is not only part of authentication, it is just the first layer. Later on, we will check the roles as well, whether it is a protected route. You know, if it's the role is of guest, it cannot access the admin APIs. So everything will be stored over here. And for password, we can make the login like password or passwordless with an OTP, or with password we'll store hash of the user. Like I'm sending the password on the request, this secret test 123. I'll not save it directly, of course. I will save it its hash form on the table, and as soon as the user again logs in with this same password, the hashes will be same, so it will be a validating point as well. So if it will pass 1 2 3 4, the hash will be different. So it is only for the, to securing if the DB compromises, then they will have hash, and hash is a, it's a single process. It cannot be traced back. You cannot get the password out of hash again, so it's a single thing. So that is why hashes will be stored, and this is only a layer, only a first kind of thing, layer of validation. Okay, now uh, let's create a table on Postgres on this DB. We'll have a script that will have all those fields. Then we will insert the data. We'll write. We'll use our sqlx ORM to create that thing. By the way, electricity is gone, so my main monitor will be shut down after my UPS dies out. Then I'll come from laptop. So we'll simply go there and we'll check for create table schema in PostgreSQL. Uh-huh. So this is client auth and server auth through admin SDK is different, right? Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So I mean there are things. One is auth 0 and OAuth. So they provide a kind of SSO. So it's we are maintaining it on our own. So that is why it is a minimal application. So yeah, something like that. So if you use Auth0 SDK, a JavaScript SDK or something like that, they also provide all these features. So you don't need to write it on your own to maintain something. You define some redirect URL. So you have they provide a dashboard there where you define your redirect URLs. And once you create a token that will have a redirect URL. So once you log in on their platform, it will redirect to your app. So it has some advanced security features as well if you use an SDK. So it will prompt a page for login on your client side, and those token and everything will be handled on the server side by using their SDK. So it's an Auth0. We have OAuth as well. So but OAuth is kind of protocol. So it's a kind of protocol that this follows, right? It created an SDK out, wrap it around this protocol OAuth. So it is a good read. I mean, if you want to try out, you can read this thing. What are access token, refresh token, what are scopes, what are grant types, authorization code, client credential, device code, refresh tokens, and all. If you are trying it like this out, Auth0, you should also check out for SSO as well. It's a single sign-on. It's called single sign-on. That token will be used to, once you log in on one thing and open other thing on your device only, it will also be logged in there. So this is a good thing to have it, SSO and all these things. Okay, it says auth for Gen AI, Octane. Nice, learning something new. Reinstated my confidence in IT algo. Yeah. Thank you for coming on chat. Okay, now let's do this thing. I think this is it. So few things that we need to do here. Let's copy this thing. Okay, test DB. Let's How do we create a script out of it? I need a PSQL tool. Uh-huh. Okay, I think it is this login. Let me go on the SQL. I'll say I need query tool, I think, right? Yeah, I need this thing. I do it over here. Let me just okay. So few things that we are going to do over here. ID, it's currently a student ID, but it should be a user ID. It should be auto incremented integer. For now, integer. It should be a UUID that should be created randomly. But if I create a UUID over here, I need to handle it on server side so that it gets like I need to create a random. But for now, let's call it integer auto incremented. Varchar, that is good. What else we have a secret, so it will be a hash. It should be a varchar as well. User login should be a varchar, address should be a varchar, so everything should be a varchar. But we need two additional things over here, that is created date time and updated date time. That should be auto. By default it should be now, right? Yes, default it should be now, so we need these two things. What are your thoughts on vibe coding? Vibe coding is good if you have the like the whereabouts of the output, and you can debug that thing. But if you are completely new, then vibe coding is absolutely a dooms kind of thing. Should not try that. While learning, you should avoid vibe coding. Once you have all the command, once you know the things, then you can vibe code. But while learning, you should do it old school, like searching through the articles, surfing the net. So let's do this thing. Let's call it ID. Let's call it username. Username. Let's call it secret. Will be a varchar as well. Let's call it 300. User login and address as well. So let's copy. Oh. User login. We don't need address, right? So let's remove this thing. We don't need address. What do we need it? We can. I mean, so let's do this thing. All right, now I need auto incrementing and default date time and updated date time. Right, so I'll go and with date created at and updated at default set. Yes, created and updated. It should be created like by default. As soon as a record gets created, these two things should be updated. Right, I will just simply do this. Timestamp with time zone default now. Updated will be should also be default now until provided specifically. All right, I'll use database. I'll say use test db. Should we go? Let's hit this thing. Ah, ooh, school dot students. Maybe I should do test db dot users. Ah, test db doesn't exist. Okay, it says query returned successfully. But where it should be? This is all right. These are maybe on the schema tables. Okay, I'll have these things now. I'll just go on script and select. Okay, so the table is created and I don't have any output over here. So you have username, secret, user login address, created it, updated it. Okay, all these things. Now let's go on this thing again. 80%. Although I'll remove this thing. So now I have a user registration. All right, I have a payload. Now I'll insert these things over here. I'll have a payload and this thing. All right. So I have a pool I need to execute. So I'll use sqlx dot query. No query. Uh, let's see. The query string may contain a single DML insert or this or this. How do we use it? I'll use this thing, of course, of course, of course. And what about query as? Query, oh sorry, query macro, it says select this. Statically checked SQL query with println syntax style. Can I insert? No. I think to insert, I'll have to query as what it says. Yes, this is good. I need to execute a connection. PG connection. I'll say, yeah, I can do it from here only. I'll create a, but that is already done. I'll say insert into users. I'll have this thing and this thing, and I'll execute and await. And what does it returns basically? Query as. Okay, okay, okay. It is using query only. It is using query only. So let's do it like this. So I should have a SQL statement. So I'll say let SQL is equal to format. I'll say insert into what was the table name? It was users, right? And I'll have values over here, and then I can simply do this. What else is there? All right, I'll have a SQL. Then and I can, execute. Do we have execute over here? I need an executor. I'll say pool, and I can simply dot await and do this. All right, but it says is not satisfied. Let's see. Executor is not for this thing. And SQL. Achha. Query. Expected this, found this. So I can do something like this. I need to validate one thing. I'll say sqlx insert stay insert query interest for I can use query macro. So let's say query. Maybe I could just query here expected string literal. So query, I'll have this insert and I'll pass all these things. I'll pass these things. I'll await and unwrap. What the? Okay. And SQL. All right. Second thing I'll pass is payload dot something like username. So what all are fields over here? I'll have a username. Let me just copy these things. I'll paste it over here, and we have 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. All right, I'll say username. I'll say payload dot a hash will be there as well. All right, so I'll say it's not I'll say hash. All right, user login, so it will be payload dot user login and payload dot. Now this question mark thing, it protects from the SQL injection error, like the attacks. So it's a parameterized query now. So instead of on this, I added a parameter based thing, right? Payload address. So all these things are there. 1 2 3 4, right? Now I'll do dot execute. It doesn't have execute. It doesn't have execute. Maybe this thing is, I should not do this, then I should not do this. Expected string literal. Let's see what's going on here. So registered user has already a username, SEC, user login and address. Maybe I could just cannot known at compilation time. Come on. It says lifetime parameter, but that is fine. But I cannot see execute. That is good. Maybe we should check for the documentation. Macro query. Query as okay, this query macro, I'm not able to get the execute method. I'm getting extend. If I remove this thing, expected one argument, found 5. Maybe I could just say hash what is the do this thing. An expected argument, remove extra arguments. So I have username, hash, user login and address. What is the extra argument? Okay, it says it takes one argument but 5. No. What if I use as, remove the extra argument, query as this should do, I mean, like this, insert clicks query, insert into this, and values should be this, but it is like doing this on a single line. It should not be there. If I'm using query, then why I'm not getting execute? Executor would be pool. Wait. Guys, anyone can guess what is happening? Uh, Function is defined here, though that is not an issue. We'll have a PG pool. PG pool, that is already this thing, so it's already on the controller. If I go for this thing, I'll have data PG pool. The same goes for this thing, right? Data PG pool. So either I should pass should get this maybe let's assume this is the hash. All right, for now we can create this thing. It's a mismatch type now, so I'll have to use the reference there. This should be get. All right. Okay, query is this thing. What if I do this and pass it like this? What is the problem now? Query. Uh, uh, Found 5. Not execute. <clears throat> 26. Yes. Ooh. This thing is trade bound data. So maybe we should search connecting. No, not connecting. I should see querying PostgreSQL using sqlx in the Rust insert state. No, not insert statement. I'll just use this thing. Now let's see what we get. I think there is an issue with this thing, data PG pool, but this pool should be working right. It says the data pool Postgres is not satisfied with the implementation. Also, we should implement this thing like a parameterized query, but it's not letting me. So let's see. Connect. I'll use query. I'll use query value. So the thing is, it is using a transaction, that is fine. But what is the pool here? The question is, what is the pool? So execute pool. This pool is returned by pg pool option, so it will be a pg pool. That is fine. It created. Oh, la la la. Insert. Acha, it is a query as. It is binding. I think the issue maybe. Remove the extra argument, it says. 1 2 3 4 is there. 1 2 3 4. Expected one argument. What if I do this? The trade bound is not satisfied. Okay, and inside the query I can't use these things. What the heck is this? Uh, 2 3 4 5. Hmm, 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 hmm. I'm using this thing, values $1, $2. Shouldn't I be using, maybe it's the format? Maybe it's the format. Query macro, if I use, I can execute and await. But the thing is, it is not letting me call this method. Set database URL to use query macro online. Cargo sqlx prepare. I think I need to perform some other changes on sqlx. Cargo dot toml. Over here I'm using this thing, right? Postgres chrono time uuid. And what is the issue? What is the issue, guys? Can you help me out here? Let me paste it on the chat. You know what? No, 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 no. I did it wrong. I should do this. So the code is on GitHub. Maybe you guys can, check that this issue and fix it. This thing. I think this. Let me delete this thing. This is not I wanted to paste. I wanted to paste this thing. It's not letting me paste this thing. Let's remove this thing. Yeah. Yeah. So what could be the issue? I'm getting a call notification. Hello? Hello? हाँ हाँ जी हाँ जी। सर ये देव मीन्स में हाउस नंबर एन नंबर है। हाँ 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 फेज 7 में हाउस नंबर ओके ओके सर बता देना मुझे बाकी हेल्प करा देना। अच्छा हम्म, हाँ, ठीक है सर। आप कहीं से भी आ सकते हैं बगवाड़ा से आओगे तो वो पास पड़ता है जैसे बगवाड़ा मंडी है इसके बगल में गेट है ना उसका बगवाड़ा गेट है फिर उसके बाद जाके खंडी की बाजार लगती है उसी के बगल वाली कॉलोनी हाँ बहुत सारी है बाजार पे लगती है उसके बगल वाली में देव होम्स फेस 7 है उसमें 10 15 है हाँ ठीक। Okay, I was getting a call from some guys. They're about to reach here. Hmm. Okay, 2 likes. That is good. So I was doing like this, right? Yeah, sure. So this way is this. It doesn't have execute method. It was dollar, right? That's what we saw. Dollar. I can't see this thing. Execute. and I can't see, of course, a payload. Okay, I was maybe this could work. Set database URL to use query macro online. Database URL to use query macros online or run cargo sqlx prepare to update query cache. But I can't see the execute. Why can't I see the execute? Will this work? It's an exam. I need this thing, right? Uh-huh. Why it says set database URL to use query macro online? Set database URL to use query macro online sqlx error. We can cargo sqlx to update the query cache because sqlx create doesn't require macro. Query macro online. I have database URL on the PG pool. Now I'm not getting this thing now. Maybe on the toml file, let me remove this thing. LSP is out. LSP out. So expected argument, this, remove the extra argument. Okay, now it says remove the extra argument, but why it's not letting me? Maybe should I use bind? I don't know. I just want sorry, do we have bind? Yes, we have bind, so I'll say payload dot username dot bind payload. No, I'll say secret hash dot bind payload dot user login dot bind payload dot address. Finally. So it turns out I was working with MySQL database. So I think on the PostgreSQL, I'll have to use kind of these parameters, and I'll have to use bind to go for this query thing. And if I do await, I'll have this thing. Now let me just check the response of this thing, because I am currently hard coding OK1 here, but I want response back. So I want response to be returned, right? So I'll say println. So maybe instead of this thing, I'll say query result, pg query result. I can return this thing, right? And I can just simply not I can simply say response uh, response um, expected result because of return found struct pg query result found struct expected a result. So I can say okay. All right, now let's see what response does we like do we get. I think this is solved. So few takes over here. First of all, if I use query on the PG on the PostgreSQL, I'll have to bind the parameters, right? And I need a reference of the pool to execute. Then I'll await and unwrap it. All right. I can use match statement over here and return the errors and that thing based on it. But for now, I'll be using this question mark over here. All right. I need to check what is the response, and I will return the response. Maybe I should directly let's see. Then we can always truncate the table if something went wrong. Trade bound, acha, and data pool. So let's go here. I'll just do VD. So that will solve the issue on the routes, I think. Yes, but here I'll have to again maybe I can pass a reference from here like this. So that's all good. It says pg query result. Now I need to say extract value from pg query result in Rust using sqlx. I can use the try get function is available, but its availability depends on the specific version of sqlx. Try get row hash map, try get row p0 columns of p0. After an insert, what it will return? So that's what I need to check. Okay, so let's not do this thing. Let's return one from here and return I32 from here. Okay, yeah, let's see what does it return. We'll check this thing over here. What is going on, chat? Nothing. 2 likes, 2 people watching. That is good. Let me hit this thing. Permission denied for table. Permission denied for table. I'm getting an error. It says table users detail none. Permission denied. PG database error is returning permission denied. But I think we just give me a minute. Someone is there. Uh, uh, Result mapping. PG carry result has rows affected, but I need the latest inserted record. I need the latest inserted. How can I get it, people? I need to have a latest inserted record. Let's see what's going on. Applied Zepto. Hmm. 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 First of all, I think we should see this thing. Permission denied. But why? Why? Permission denied. Let's see. We have a user host. Okay, so do we have enough permissions for user VPN? We need to check. We have provided, I think, the enough permissions for user. Oh, sorry. Let's see if we can directly paste this thing. I think there is a permission issue. We need to, you know, insert update on table name to username. Schema. Instead of table, I need to review the permissions of this user on the alter default privileges statement. You will then only affect table created by Postgres. If the different user created the table, you need to privilege for role creator and schema public read only. Maybe we should do this. We should do this thing, right? But before that, I need to log in. I need to log in, right? So user VPN and Postgres configuration file. Maybe I could get something from history. This is it. Let's copy this thing. Is it password? No. I think you should do sudo and do this thing like. Now the password is here again, so I'll be using Cerberus. What is the password? What is the password? Test at 123. Okay. So I'm at testcb. Grant username. This reference I need to have a kind of root access. No. Mm-hmm. So I think this is related to the user permission that we created. The user we created, Vipin, has to provide the, grant the permission to do so. Sudeep Hegde, hi, what are you building, bro? I'm creating a Actix-web, HTTP server using Actix-web in Rust. I implemented jot token uh, like this over here. Now here I created a register endpoint that will save the data. If I go over there and the user registration, I'm doing something like this, but I'm getting an error of the permission denied. Now that is based on the user that I created. I need to grant permission permission to the user to access all these, to access the tables and all. So I think I provided the permission set earlier, but I need to log in from the Postgres, right? So if I go over there, maybe from here I can use p-sql tool. Here I can grant the permission like this. uh, Here I can grant the allow. Of course the username is uh, Vipin. So I need to grant permission in all. Okay, alter default privileges. What does that mean? Is it okay? Now I need to get the thing on sequence as well. So I'll say privileges in instead of schema, grant all. On instead of tables, I'll use sequences to username Vipin. Alright, I hit enter. It says alter default privileges. Now how do we check? Let's say check privilege of a user in PostgreSQL. I have added. Let's see what all privileges this user has. uh, Copy this thing, maybe paste it, and oh, I think I need this thing. uh, is grantable. Select guarantee from information schema rule dot table grants. I can say it here where GRA guarantee is equal to open syntax error. Maybe I can query this thing on Postgres. Okay. I didn't get anything. So or maybe I can get this owner. I didn't get anything, so I can say grant for permission to a user from, let's see. Use grant all on all tables in schema public to username for a more comprehensive approach, especially when dealing with databases on the database itself. So on the database name would be test db, username would be Vipin, successfully returned. Let's see if I get anything. I didn't get anything. Let's see if I get anything. I didn't get anything. Now how do I check? And maybe the only way to check is if I run this, I'll have some user ID written on the terminal, and then maybe this error would be gone. No, I'm still getting a database connectivity error. Permission denied for table users. Hmm. Sorry. Over here. Let's see this thing. Do we need to flush anything? Let's see if I am getting any. I am not getting anything. Let's Postgres. If I go on testdb and I'll use query tool. Is it F5? I'm getting current user as Postgres. Ideally, it should be Vipin, right? What do you think? What do you think? DB user should be Vipin because I'm able to connect. If I disconnect and if I want, okay, I'm getting Postgres. So let me just do one thing. If I do this thing Postgres, I think it will return an error. The connection will not be connection will not make, I think. Password authentication failed. Anyways, we'll see this thing later. We have 3 likes, that is awesome. So this is the permission issue, guys. So I'll have to check. We'll have to kind of go through it again about the user that we created on the database, whether it has permission or not. The issue I'm currently getting is, even if I go on testdb and select the current user, it says Postgres instead of my name Vipin that I created. So maybe there is something that we missed while creating this thing. But for today's thing, I think we are done, we are good. So we have created a JWT token implementation. We created a token, send it back to the client, right? Maybe let me just show it again. If I comment this thing and if I just okay, yeah, this is thing is all right. If I send it again, I can see the token. This token is JavaScript bad? No, it's not bad. So as you can see, we have a JWT token. Now this token, as I always like stated earlier, has 3 parts. This is the header, this is the payload, and this is the signature. All right, so I have the link on the chat. Maybe you guys can check that out if you want to read about JWT tokens and all. So yeah, this is a register API. So we'll get this thing now. The only thing that is remaining is inserting this thing on the database. So our current database is not having any permission, though that will I have to check. Maybe we can create a user again, grant it a fresh permissions, or maybe create or go through it using a root user. Okay, so we can do it next time maybe. So most of our work is done. We have a user registration thing over here. What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, how we doing? All right, so I will see you guys next time. Okay, so once we have JWT implemented, we will set it on headers like this, authorization, bearer and all, and then we'll pass it with each time, and then we'll update our auth token, auth middleware that we created to validate this auth token that will pass with each request. All right, it was okay. Let me just push the code on GitHub. The code is on GitHub. Maybe you guys can check that out, or maybe if you are working together, you would be able to connect and insert into PostgreSQL database. Alright guys, I see you next time. Next time we will implement something. I'm learning to use TypeScript for the first time by contributing to an open source. It's definitely experience coming from only ever working with background language. So much work. Yep. Right. All right. So I'll see you next time, guys. Hopefully tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have all these things set up, and then create few other endpoints as well. Once I create user, or maybe yeah. So we'll do that. So maybe you guys can if you are watching it at any later point of time, you can just listen this stream on 1.5x. That would be good for your ears as well. Okay, bye bye, I'll see you next time. And thank you very much for everyone who is coming on chat to say hi and whoever like this stream. It was amazing. Bye bye guys. See you next time.